Greetings and welcome back to the World Numismatic News as we now continue our examination of Lincoln cent varieties. Moving right along to the varieties that you can discover for 1984. The first coin in line for this year comes to us from the Denver Mint, and here there is not dramatic, but still significant doubling to be found on the obverse of the coin, beginning with some minor doubling on the letters of liberty. But the better example is to be discovered on the letters of In God We Trust, with the We Trust portion being the most pronounced example therein. All of the letters are doubled due south, with the doubling becoming significantly more pronounced as you move further towards the right of the coin. This becomes more obvious on the letters of trust. Pay particular attention to the flags of the two T's, the bottom of the U, as well as the S of the words. But the doubling that is most often noted for this coin, though, appears on the numbers of the date, with the doubling in this case displaying in a southeasterly direction, most notably on the tail of the 9 and the bottom roundings of the number 8. While the variety is fairly well known, it remains, at least in my opinion, fairly underappreciated in the market overall. In 2023, a PCGS graded MS66 red example was sold by Great Collections for $8,781. For the next variety, we shift our attention eastwards towards the Philadelphia Mint to find another doubled obverse Lincoln penny. Here, the best doubling is seen on the numbers of the date, with the tail of the 9, the roundings of the 8, and even the 4 showing particularly strong separation lines in each case. Now, in the case of this particular variety, there is a good chance that the coin you might find might be in a more advanced or a later die state, in which case the separation lines that we see here might fade, and the best signs of the doubling would be an additional thickness to the letters instead. And the same holds true for the remainder of the doubling on this coin, which is best seen on the letters of In God We Trust. Again, in this case, depending on the specific die state of the coin that you have in front of you. You should either see separation lines on the letters or additional thickness to the letters, either indicating doubling on this coin. Then, in addition to this, you can also see signs of doubling in Lincoln's hair towards the top of the head and nearer to the back of the crown, which can be used as a nice confirmatory diagnostic point if you're not exactly sure if you do in fact have this variety. In terms of the auction record, in 2023, an MS65 red example of this coin was sold at auction by Heritage, graded by PCGS, for a total of $720. And then we have what is by far the best known variety for 1984, the so-called doubled ear 1984 penny. And I'd go even as far as to argue that it is the best known of this particular subgenre of variety coin. And of course, there is no hiding that the absolute best doubling on this coin is the titular doubling on Lincoln's ear, where if you look just due south of the ear, there is clear and unambiguous doubling so bold with extremely wide separation that leads to almost the entire ear being doubled due south. But even though that is definitely the trophy and hallmark of this particular coin, that is not where the doubling ends, as there is additional very strong doubling on Lincoln's beard. However, due to the nature of the design, it is less obvious, shall we say. But comparing it to a normal, non-variety coin from the same issue soon makes the doubling become immediately apparent by comparison as well. And here, in 2023, an absolutely stunning example of this coin, graded by PCGS as MS68 plus red, formerly from the fantastic Stephenville collection, was sold at auction by Heritage for the equally impressive closing sum of $15,600. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch the 1983 penny varieties right here. Next. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching. Keep collecting and have a fantastic day.